In this lesson, we're going to talk about the basics of the English language, the sentence, subject, and a verb. Now, everything we speak of is either going to be in a sentence or in a non-sentence form. And understanding the difference is really important to ace the writing section of the SAT. Interestingly, many students struggle with identifying a sentence and a non-sentence. So let us look at the screen. Now, I've made 4 examples. Can you identify which one is a sentence and which one isn't? Among the 4 examples, there are 3 sentences here. The first, third, and the fourth. In the videos to come, I'm going to explain more to you about the third and the fourth sentence. But for now, let's focus on the basics. So, what is a sentence? A sentence is something that expresses an idea and has a subject and a verb. So our next question is, what is subject? Simply put, the subject is the main character or the idea of the sentence. For example, in the movie Harry Potter, the main character is Harry Potter, right? In the same sense, in a sentence, there's always a main character, and we call that the subject. Now, it can be a person, it could be an object, it could also be an idea. Identifying the subject in a simple sentences is very easy. For example, in the screen, in the first sentence, the subject is Jack, because the sentence is about Jack, right? What about the second sentence? His philosophy and communication spread. The subject here is the word philosophy. Of course, in the real test, it's not going to be this easy because the sentence will be much more complex. But nonetheless, the foundation is the same. Every sentence has something called a subject. Our next lesson is, what is a verb? Simply put, verb is a word that gives you information about the subject. Using the same sentence example, in the first sentence, Jack ran. The main information here is on the idea of running, right? So the word ran is the verb. In the second example, the verb is spread, which gives you the main information about the subject philosophy. What happened to his philosophy? It spread. Among many verbs in the English language, the most common verb that we use is called the be verb, and you actually use it all the time, right? And these consist of am, are, is, was, and were. So for example, in the sentence Jack is smart, the verb is the word is, and we call this the be verb. Likewise, in the second sentence, the verb is was. And the reason I'm explaining this to you is that many students think the verb has to be like an action, but this isn't always the case. So remember, the most common verb used in the English language is called be verb. So far, we've learned what a sentence is. A sentence is something that expresses an idea with subject and a verb. Now, there are 3 more fundamentals you have to understand. You have to understand that there can be more than one subject and a verb in a sentence, and that the subject can be more than one word, and that the verb can also be more than one word. Let's review each point more thoroughly. Now, you have to understand that there can be more than one subject in a sentence. For example, the sentence example in the screen, I know that you like me. In this sentence, there are 2 subject and verbs. The first subject is I, and the first verb is the word know. And the second subject is the word you, and the second verb is like. In the second sentence example, it's a bit more complicated, but still the same. The main subject of the sentence is reason, and the main verb of the sentence is. But also, there is second subject and a verb between the first subject and the verb. And this is why English language is very difficult. But again, once you have these sounds, the writing section of the SAT will become very, very easy. Let's move on to the next lesson. Understand that the subject can be more than one word. Let's read the sentence in the screen. What I wanted was you. Now in this sentence, the subject is not limited to one word. The subject of the sentence is what I wanted. Likewise, the subject of the second sentence, how he passed the test is a mystery, is also not limited to one word. The subject here is, as you can see, how he passed. Lastly, understand that the verb can also be more than one word. In the sentence, I have studied since the morning, the verb is have studied, 2 words. And in the second sentence, the company was assessed. The verb here is not was, not assessed, but was assessed. Before we move on to the next video, let's review what we've learned so far. understand that a sentence has a subject and a verb, but there can be more than one subject and a verb, and that the subject and the verb are not limited to one word. They can both be more than one words.